Today's spooky spot, we're having a look at the McFarlane Toys, The X-Files Series 1, Agent Dana Scully and Agent Fox Mulder. Spot decided to actually do these two at the exact same time because essentially the X-Files figures were a little gray in the fact that, you know, you got different variations of the releases of these figures, whether they came with a stretcher or they came with the cocoon chamber, the chamber that was in the original movie. But you could get various different releases of them. So Spot really is going to try to do these as grouped videos. I'm going to do my best to do these as group videos. I don't have all the figures themselves, but we're going to go through these, in this case, with both the stretcher version of Dana Scully and Fox Mulder, just because essentially they come with the exact same accessory. This was actually one of the first figures lines that Spot also collected above and beyond the Movie Maniac line. On the side of the package it says Fight the Future, and we've got ourselves Fox Mulder, recommended for ages 5 and up, ultra action figures. A really nice picture up at the top there of Dana Scully and Fox Mulder. Loved X-Files growing up. It was one of my favorite shows. And on the back of the package, it says, for years the world has seen reality distorted, facts manipulated, and truth hidden. But there's even more to the story than anyone suspected because no one has ever been able to see the whole picture until now. Cherish the past, enjoy the present, because the truth is coming. And then it says, fight the future. There's a picture of Dana Scully and Fox Mulder. There are read-ups, and for the read-up on Dana Scully, it says, recruited out of the medical school by the FBI, Agent Dana Scully was originally assigned to the X-Files to debunk Agent Fox Mulder's work and report on his findings. Idealistic, intelligent, and with strong convictions, Scully soon realized that the X-Files contained extraordinary secrets that could not be refuted, there we go, that F was very small, refuted by scientific interpretation. Scully's own inexplicable, there we go, abduction and the discovery of the bizarre metal implants in her neck only served to strengthen her solidarity with Mulder, despite the risk to her career and her life. The problem is that font is extremely small. Can you even make it out from here? That font is tiny. On the other end, we got Fox Mulder, who says, Oxford educated, brilliant, and driven, Agent Fox Mulder was one of the leading investigators on the Violent Crimes Division of the FBI until he requested a transfer to an obscure area of the Bureau known as the X-Files. There he earned the reputation as renegade agent investigating cases which the FBI deemed unexplained due to their paranormal nature. But Mulder quickly learned that the X-Files were cases that the government did not want solved, and forces within the government would go to any length to ensure that that cases remained a mystery. Compelled by the belief that his sister was abducted by aliens when he was 12 years old, Mulder is willing to risk everything to find out what he desires most, the truth. Woo! Sorry about that. That's, again, a very, very small font. Spot's doing his best to look and read at that. You can head also over to McFarlanetoys.com if you guys certainly want to check out more. Now, granted, again, these figures are dated at 1998. 1998. So long ago. Spot was doing so much with his life in 1998. No, really, I wasn't. Spot's going to take a terrifying break, and we're going to get these opened up. And certainly when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the X-Files Series 1, Stretcher Mulder, and Stretcher Scully. There's definitely more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. So, with the two figures opened up, you get yourself Fox Mulder and you get yourself Agent Scully. Yes, Spot acknowledges the fact that these are older figures, so likeness-wise, do they look really a lot like the actors? Maybe not. But, I mean, they still, to this day, I think hold up as relatively good collection figures. They're not overly expensive. You can go on eBay and probably get the entire lot for less than $100. But the thing that really confused this line was the kind of the makeshift packaging, the way that they went about packaging these figures. Because essentially you would get yourself a suited Mulder and a suited Scully with these stretchers, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But then you also could get a suited version of Mulder with one of the containment pods, and I'll show that in another video. But then you could also get Arctic Mulder and Scully in with the containment pods. And in the case that what I ended up when I ended up getting these figures in my collection, I've got like suited Mulder with one of the containment pods, and I've got Arctic dressed Scully with the containment pod. So you could go to a store and see several different ways that these figures were packaged together. As a completionist, if you wanted to try to get every single variation of the packaging, then it became a little more difficult. So, getting first a close look at Mulder, it's not bad. And again, because it's 1998, it's during a time where, you know, McFarlane Toys was really one of the fewer toy lines out there that were trying to produce movie or TV tie-in figures. The end result, yeah, a little more basic in design. Do they look a lot like, again, in this case, David Duchovny? You can see the likeness, but it's definitely not bang on. It's a little more simplified. It's a little more generic, but I think it still pulls out well as a decent looking figure. He's got himself like a little FBI card. And let me see if I can actually bring the camera in there. It says, I don't know if I can get that, Special Agent. It actually does say Fox Mulder. I love you, Digital Zoom. Fox Mulder. Now, he does also come with an accessory. He comes with a flashlight. And he came with a flashlight. Scully came with a cell phone. But I mean, again, depending on how you had them posed, if you had a couple of them, you know, you could both have them with cell phones. You could both have them with, you know, flashlights. The interesting thing about some of the older figures, you may not notice this unless you didn't. If you collected them, you would notice it. A lot of the figures have this kind of slickness to it. Like, you can really see it on more so Scully here. Like, it's almost like an oily residue. And I don't think my original figures had this, because I had these figures, I opened them up, I had them on display for a while, and I think I might have just sold them. And then I picked up another set of these later on in my collecting days. And I think it's an after residual that builds up over time, where it's not on the figures when you probably first got them, but over time, something about this plastic, you get this slickiness all over it. Ugh. But yeah, it's a good figure. You kind of have to, if you loved the figures when you were younger and you were picking these up when they first came out, you probably will be looking at them with rose-colored glasses. They don't look exactly like the actors, but still they're pretty good for what they need to be. Mulder's articulation, by the way, he has a very stiff swivel in the head. It goes back and forth. Very basic swiveled arms, swiveled wrists. The one arm does have a swivel in the forearm, whereas this arm actually doesn't. It's just a straight plastic piece. But he also has the swivel in the shoulder area as well. Then he has a swiveled waist, and that's it. I mean, the sculpt in the feet and sculpt in the legs is all staction, so you can't really do very much with it at all. There you have Mulder. Just kind of get him. He's always saying, "Come on, Scully, you gotta believe me. It's the government." There's Scully, and again, she is the same thing with as Mulder. She has one staction arm where you can just kind of move the arm around, and then this arm can do the same thing, but then she also has a rotation here. So, you know, Mr. Miyagi can have her paint the fence, wax on, wax off, I don't know. She does also come with a cell phone. Little tiny cell phone that you can put into her hand, just like so. And she could be calling, maybe trying to talk to somebody. "Hello, get me away from the X-Files. Mulder is crazy." I almost feel like between the two, Scully is a better looking figure. At least it looks more like the actress that played Scully, and for the life of me, I can't remember what her name is. But she looks a little more like the actress, and she looks more like Scully than Mulder looks like David Duchovny, or like this figure looks like Mulder. Size-wise, you know, Scully is shorter than Mulder, so, you know, scale-wise, I think they're pretty good together. Her articulation is also that she has a swivel in the head. Yeah, I like the face on her. I think, again, between the two, I think her likeness holds up better now than Mulder's. She does also have a swivel in the waist. And she doesn't actually have anything in the legs. The legs are just straight, solid pieces. But, yeah, she does look pretty decent. And I think there's a variation as well of her suit color, too, where the suit wasn't as dark as it is here. I think it's a little bit lighter. Gillian Anderson, there you go. Thank you. Thank you to the ghost in this room that just, oh my god, is there a ghost in this room? That just told me Gillian Anderson. So there you have Mulder and Scully. Collectively, they're the kind of figures that you really would want to get, you know, both of them so that they can stand side by side. You really wouldn't be the kind of person that would say, oh, I only want Mulder. I don't want Scully. You know, these are the kind of figures that you're going to get both of them so that they can go, you know, they can be side by side on your desk. Which then brings us to their accessories. And these accessories are actually really cool. Now, depending on how you bought the figures, you could have either bought them with the pods, and I'll be showing you guys those in a review as well, or you could get them in the stretchers. If you weren't a completionist, personally, between the two, I think the stretchers are a lot cooler than the pod chamber things. These are also really neat stretchers that if you wanted to use them for other figures too, you could totally do that. I mean, they still hold up really, really well. You could use this for like a Michael Myers figure. You could use this for a Jason Voorhees when he's in the morgue in part 4. I mean, really, there's a lot you can do with these stretchers. I would almost even say, like, for the price of it, if you can find these on eBay for like dirt cheap, even if you don't even want the figures, you could still get them for the stretchers. Aside from the handles that you can see move out just on hinges, you can close them up or retract them. Above and beyond that too, they don't have any wheels. I mean, the wheels are sculpted. You can't move the wheels, but this actually still retracts. And it does lock into place. Not well. I mean, it's still a plastic frame, but it's still, I mean, if you don't put anything too heavy on it, you could, you know, you could have, again, a Jason Voorhees on the stretcher in the morgue. Very, very cool. You could also put like a Michael Myers. Very nice though. And I like the texturing that they put on the mattress where it just looks like it's been pressed down. You can kind of see like the little wrinkles of the material sheets that they put on there. This definitely is the, as they would say, this is the price of admission right here. Now, both of them would have the exact same body. You get this like little bandaged, body-bagged person that sits on top of the stretcher. And depending on, if you don't properly lock it, it frequently will probably drop on you when you put, you know, the figure on it, because it just seems like it's too heavy for the stretcher to properly hold and stay up. Yeah, see, as you can see, it just drops. Now, truth be told, I had these in my collection before, and I just never opened these up. I just never knew what was actually inside. I knew it's something gruesome, but I just have never opened it up. So we can do this right now as a Spooky Spot exclusive. And by exclusive, I really mean only to this channel, because I'm sure everyone has else done this. But let's actually take these off. Take off these little clips. It's like little twist tie, little zip tie things. I'm going to take these off. And take that one off. And we're going to take this one off too. And I'm hoping it's nothing as gruesome as the Van Helsing Dracula. Remember with the missing nose? Oh, that was so gross. Such a gross looking figure. Take this off. And finally take the middle one off. And they're intended to be taken off and put back on. If not for that, they would be attached in such a way that you wouldn't be able to take them off. So we've taken these off. We'll just put those to the side. And we'll take this all off. Oh, I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. It's extremely sticky as well because this person inside, oh, It's actually stuck to the back of his body. And there you have the reveal. What a gruesome looking semi-quasi-alien thing going on in here. It's all rubbery too, like this is rubbery. And like even the hands are kind of just stuck to its body because like this whole bottom section, it's just like burned. It's got this purple goopy crap all over the bottom of it. I mean, it's size-wise, I guess he's the same size as Mulder, so I guess that's size-wise he's about right. But yeah, he's really gruesome looking. Not gruesome like Van Helsing's Dracula. That takes the cake. If you haven't seen the video, go check it out. But this is, yeah, just a nice sculpted piece, but I think it looks almost creepier. There's the other one there. I think it almost looks creepier by having him still in the, you know, kind of the makeshift bag sheets than having him, you know, without it. That's just my preference. But there's the difference between the two. I mean, you could also, if you want to have a really neat horror display, just like have a whole slew of these, you know, in a backdrop area, and then just keep like the bagged bodies on top, and I think that would be such a great look. But again, like this would be awesome for like a Jason Voorhees or, you know, like a Michael Myers. Michael Myers Part 4 right there. If only we had the figure. Heck, come on. You could put those on there as well. So there you go, guys. There is at least one of the X-Files Mulder and Scully figures. Again, like the figures varied, so sometimes you could get a Mulder with the chamber, sometimes you could get Scully with the suit with the chamber, sometimes you could get Arctic Scully. Spot's going to do his best to kind of just show you guys the different figures that made up the X-Files wave, and it's neat that I get to kind of a chance to kind of go through this stuff now, because like this is the kind of stuff, this was the meat and the potatoes of the stuff that I collected back in the day. Like above and beyond the Movie Maniacs, which you guys know really kind of got me back into collecting. These figures got me back into collecting as well. Like the X-Files figures I picked up, and I was religiously picking them up. Then I sold the collection off, and I kind of regretted it. But the beauty of it, like these particular figures are things that you can still find to this day on eBay. And to get them for cheap is very, very, very easy. If you guys are a fan of X-Files, maybe you guys had these in your collection at one point. Maybe you guys can let me know down below. Today's spooky spot, though, we were having a look at the McFarlane Toys, the X-Files Series 1, Scully and Mulder. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to be looking at more X-Files stuff, too. Why not? It's Spottober. It's the month of spooky things. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for more spooky spots as well. Those will be heading your way as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Ooh, the truth is out there.